Hey, what's up, Aquarius? Welcome to you guys' August reading. This is for my Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus placements. And this is a collective reading, so it may not resonate with each and every one of y'all. But hopefully there's something here that inspires you, that helps you, that connects the dots for you in some way or another. We're about to find out what that will be. And this is for the month of August. So let's get right in. Aquarius. And this is for August 2025. All right. Just a little heart emoji over here just to make sure we've got some love in here. All right. So there you go, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading. Welcome to the space. Please make sure to like, to subscribe, to engage with the space. If you feel that, or to leave a comment or to like or to share, that's more than welcome. It is an absolute pleasure to do this for you, and super excited to see what's going to unfold for you during this reading and also just for the rest of the month as well. All right. So Aquarius, let's just dive right in. All right. Okay, this is for Aquarius Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, as well as Mars, or any other placements as well where you may have strong Aquarian placements. Okay, you could be finishing up stuff on. I'm picking up on one an individual, or let's say like there's somebody stepping forward, and picking up on an energy of finishing things up. You could have maybe been doing some renovations, could be maybe have been working on a home or a garden over the summer, and maybe you could be kind of wrapping things up together, putting finishing touches or something like that. Some home renovations, interior decor, or something like that is also coming up. So that could be for one person. I'm also just getting overall that like some of you guys could be closing up some deals, or just tying loose ends, closing something, right? Closing something. So also some of you, maybe some projects you've been working on, kind of wrapping that up or closing that up before the summer ends. Yeah, definitely important also to get some rest, recharge your batteries, and yeah. Also, finances could be important for some of you guys. Maybe talking to your bank. You could be talking to your bank to power up something. So there could be, maybe you could be trying to get a loan from the bank, or you could be trying to get like a mortgage loan. You could be trying to get a mortgage loan, or like you may have gotten a loan to do like renovations to your home, or like a loan for business, or something like that. So some of you guys could also be in the talks with the bank for maybe a business loan, or like a home loan, or some kind of like a loan, like maybe entrepreneurial loan or something like that. But I definitely feel also like money, or like in talks with sort of like a bank or something like that. Yeah, so you're pulling in the midheaven. Midheaven is all about legacy. It's about your, I don't want to say your north node necessarily, but look at the top of the deck. We have Aquarius Sun. So resting at the top of the deck, we have your sign basically. But you pulled the midheaven. The midheaven has to do with your with your career. It has to do with your career. It has to do with your, especially your career ambitions, and also your career in terms of what it is that you kind of want to be remembered for. It is kind of like the house of legacy. If you, let's say, as an example, you're like a very influential person, your legacy could be, maybe, let's say, if somebody's an artist, their legacy is their artistry, the music that they then leave behind when they transition to their next life. The legacy and the work that they have left here for the rest of humanity could be their legacy. But if you're not a famous person, maybe you're just a family man or a family woman, or whatever works that you do within your scope of possibilities and your scope of influence, that also could be a legacy, right? And if it's also something about family, leaving something behind for your kids or your nephews or that also could be something that is also a legacy, right? So it's about how you want to be remembered, and this could also be how you want to be remembered also in terms of like your family relations or within your community, whether that's work community or whether that's just friendships and stuff like that. So that's what the midheaven and the 10th house is all about. It's about that work. It's about that discipline. The 10th house is also the house of Saturn. And so it indicates to me that usually when someone pulls this card, they have gone through a lot of challenges to get to where they are in life. Because Saturn is the sign that really presents a lot of, challenges and obstacles in one's life. That's why sometimes you would always hear someone say they're having their first Saturn return, and then later on they have their second Saturnian return, right? And every time that you have a Saturnian return, it presents you a lot of life obstacles, a lot of challenges that you have to overcome that may come in the form of financial losses or family deaths or health issues, or it presents a lot of obstacles that kind of tests your ability to rise above those situations, and also that tests your resilience and your faith and your belief systems and all of that stuff. So whenever someone pulls the midheaven, knowing that it is ruled by Saturn and it is also Capricornian, indicates to me that you're somebody who has been overcoming a lot to sort of get to where you are. And that doesn't mean that like you are not without challenges anymore, but also the way that you approach those challenges may be different, when you have gained a much more different perspective through those life experiences. All right. Now, also the 10th house is not only ruled by Saturnian Capricornian energy. The 10th house is also the devil's house, right? Capricorn is also known as the devil. So what that represents, especially when we're looking at it from the perspective of the tarot, indicates temptations. It indicates like things that we struggle with, especially things of the flesh, right? So this could be addictions, whether that's addictions to sugar or coffee or cigarettes or alcohol or X, or all of those things are all things that can also be considered a challenge that one would have to sort of overcome, right? And it may not always necessarily be those sort of more darker sort of temptations. It could also be that you're too nice or too kind or too sweet, and therefore you're too overgiving, and so you're always overlooked and overstepped. And perhaps the life challenge has been to sort of kind of like work through that, to have more boundaries for self, and some more self-respect and all of that stuff, self-discipline, self-restraint, all of those things are all things that speak to the challenges that can come with the midheaven or 10th house, right? And you overcome all of those things so that you can become your greater self, right? Which is why they're telling me also Aquarius sun is now resting at the top of the deck, to highlight that this is definitely for you. This message is definitely for you, right? And I feel like Aquarius, you bring a lot of good to the world, and you bring a lot of good to your community, because you are the water bearer, you are the humanitarian. It is your sole responsibility to take care of humanity and to pour back into society, into community, into your people, into your family. That's why a lot of people also see Aquarians, sort of like as, that they have this God complex about them. It is actually a little bit by design. It's not to say that Aquarians are gods or goddesses. They may be, in an earthly, because nowadays we refer to people as kings and queens and gods and goddesses and all of that stuff, but no one is above the actual God, the creator, right? But the Aquarian people, they do carry that vibration very strongly, more than the other zodiac signs, because of their soul responsibilities, right? You guys are the water bearer, so you nourish the earth with the water that you bear, right? And so you guys definitely have a very important, life mission. And especially now that we're also in the age of Aquarius, it's important that you become more visible, that you become more, that your presence is seen and felt. Some of you guys also may be very shy growing up. You may have maybe struggled with attention and maybe public speaking, or being, in front of, leading people, or, all of that type of stuff. May not be for all of you, but some of you may have had that kind of thing, growing up, like an imposter kind of syndrome, right? And so my guides are telling me to share with you like that, since we're now in the age of Aquarius, it's also important for you to be seen, to be visible, to continue to do the good works that you do for humanity, for society, that represents the Aquarian, vibration. Yeah. And of course, I'm speaking at this from a very positive from a very positive outlook. Obviously, of course, every zodiac also has its dark traits, and it's, but I don't know if I should really get into that, because I don't feel like I'm being led to go into that direction. But if you are an Aquarian who is maybe more engaged, or more tuned into your darker side, it may have a purpose, it may have a function, for example, that God complex thing, for example, may be something that people project onto you, as you think you're better than everyone else, or you think that you are, maybe just better than everyone else, because you have this very strong vibration and this very strong presence about you. And so people project negativity onto you because of that, which then causes you, or in the past, which may have caused you to retaliate in a darker sense, because it's almost like, you're going to bring me fire, I'll bring you fire, or you're going to be mean, I'll be more meaner, and Aquarians do that the best, because you guys are incredible intuition. Obviously, all the zodiac signs have intuition, but all the intuitions of each zodiac signs, they function very differently. But you guys are very cerebral, very much in the brain, very brainy, very highly intelligent people. So I mean, if somebody wants to be mean, like, Aquarians can really go there, and they can really take it a step further. So I think that people may also fear you. People can be afraid of you, or can be intimidated by you, if they are kind of projecting to your more darker side, if that makes sense, right? And I'm being kind, but also I want to say that, like, a darker Aquarian also can come across as narcissistic, or as self-absorbed, or as kind of just wanting everything to go their way, or sort of be about their way, which it may be the case, if I'm perfectly being honest, understanding the Aquarian vibration. However, also Aquarians could evolve, and they could work on themselves, and be more in touch with their lighter side, which then could represent all of the amazing things that we talked about earlier, right? So it's really about the balance, it's about the perspective, and they're saying all of these things because they're all connected to your midheaven, to your house of legacy, your house of purpose, your house of goals, your house of, how you want to be sort of remembered. All right. This is for Aquarius. Thank you. Yes. All right. Yeah, child, maybe you're pulling in the child vibration. The child vibration, family room, because they want me to look at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like you are working through a lot of healing. You may be working through a lot of traumatic things from your childhood connected to your family, specifically connected to your home, right? So they were also talking about the home. Maybe as you are going through, remember they were talking about doing like home renovations or interior decor, so a lot of you guys could be maybe getting rid, like sort of like doing a detox, right? So maybe you could be getting rid of old furniture, replacing it with new furniture, or that could be an idea that you've had but you've been struggling to do that because the stuff that you have in your home have a lot of sentimental value connected to your childhood, right? And so it's maybe been something that's been a bit of a challenge to let go of certain things because they remind you of family members who have already passed on, or it reminds you of your own childhood. So there's like a lot of sentimental value in the things that are in your family house or your family home connected to your childhood. And so these are things also that you could want to preserve, right? As they were saying, the legacy could also be like leaving a legacy for your child or leaving a legacy for your nephews or nieces, or because you don't have to be a world famous person for this to resonate with you. You could also just be just a normal person having a 9 to 5 job, right? But your legacy could also be that you want to leave the family legacy in your child, in terms of like how you want your child to remember you, all of that stuff. And also it could just be that you yourself could be working through your own childhood traumas. You could be trying to heal a relationship with a sister or a female person in your family, or family connections, right? So this may be something that could be really on your mind a lot. Maybe as you also get older, like you could be thinking about like family like a whole lot more. All right. Communication is important. I feel like communication is a struggle. So communication, especially maybe communication connected to your family, may be something that's an issue. Also communication in terms of like, it's coming in reverse because it is being seen as a challenge. And the reason for this is because of how people perceive you, or how people have perceived you in the past, or how people communicate with you. Like that whole thing that we were talking about, that they went on about, like with the like kind of like maybe people are intimidated by you, or they think you have a god complex, or they see you in some kind of way. And all of these things are things that can affect communication, right? Because if people are not really understanding the natures of who they're dealing with, or, and I'm talking about you now, Aquarius, like if people don't fully comprehend you, or they don't fully understand you, or the way you communicate does not always, you may be having communication challenges. Let's say you have different communication styles with your partner, your wife, your husband, whatever your configuration may be. And so that could also lead to some challenges, because the way you guys maybe express your love or your needs or your wants through communication may hurt the other person, or may be perceived as hurtful or as inconsiderate or insufficient, or just maybe in some cases maybe misleading. So communication is being highlighted as something also that maybe you've been thinking a lot about, connected also maybe to your childhood, or where you feel like maybe that might come from. If there may be certain things that you are afraid to explore in terms of your emotions, like also because Aquarians are very much in the head, and it's so difficult for them to talk about their emotions and their feelings. and to relate it in a more emotional way, because they can maybe joke about it more or be more sarcastic about it in that sort of mental way, instead of maybe being emotional about it, right? So all of these things may be things that are resurfacing for you in the month of August, as an invitation for you to work through those. All right. So this is all I have for you guys, Aquarius, for the month of August. I hope that there's at least something here that helps you in some kind of way, guides you in some kind of way. This is for motivational purposes. And so I hope that it motivates you or gives you some sort of perspective that helps you in your growth journey. All right. So that's all. Maybe I'll come back again towards the end of the month just to do like a recheck. And if not, then I'll see you guys in September. All right. Take care.